Kaspa. Kaspa, is it a ghost? Is it a mattress company? No, it's the new proof of work crypto that everybody is freaking out about. Rock the Kaspa, rock the Kaspa. Guys, there's a lot of hype on this coin. It's kind of unbelievable. One of the more hyped coins I've ever seen, I think. The FOMO is real. I mean, every crypto influencer is just like, guys, this is it. It's Kaspa. It's gonna pump. It's gonna rally. It's going to the moon. 20x, 30x. Reverse mortgage your house. Take your life savings. Bet it on Kaspa. You're gonna pay off your student loans. You're gonna be buying a Lambo. You're gonna be chilling on a yacht. Let's go, Kaspa. But for cereals, you guys, there is things that I am seeing that no one else is talking about. And it's like, red flag, red flag, red flag. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I'm worried about when I started doing a deep dive into Kaspa. I'm gonna get into some things why I think you should be very, very, very careful investing in Kaspa right now. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research. And, I'm going to caveat what I'm going to say because people are going to be like, oh, you're a fudder, you're a hater, blah, 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 blah. And I think we are heading into the crypto bull market. We are heading into the FOMO season. We got the Bitcoin ETF coming up. We got the halving coming up. Things are pumping. Bitcoin's over 40K. It's all bullish news. We're going to the moon. So there is this scenario for sure where Kaspa could just keep pumping. It could just go crazy and it could pump, but it's definitely a who's going to be caught holding the bag type scenario, I believe. So if you got into Kaspa early, good for you. I don't know if you're probably going to hold, and who knows, you might hold all the way back till it just comes crashing back down because there is just no support right now for Kaspa. We have no idea how high this thing's going to go, if it's going to go any higher at all, but we are almost at all-time highs with Kaspa. So I'm going to get into all the things that are definitely worrying me about Kaspa. Here we go. So Kaspa is claiming to be the fastest, most secure, most scalable proof of work layer 1 blockchain out there. That is their claim to fame. They're saying, we got the trilemma figured out. The thing that everyone in crypto has been trying to figure out, these guys did it, I guess. So Kaspa is, I guess, doing something that no other blockchain is doing. They're not even using the blockchain. They're using something called BlockDAG or GhostDAG to solve the trilemma of the blockchain system, scalability, security, and transaction speed. So basically what they're saying is that instead of each individual being formed like this on the same chain, they have parallel, simultaneous blocks that are being validated at the same time, which makes it quicker, which makes it more scalable, which supposedly solves all of these things. But we will have to see when this actually happens because I'm going to get into some information where I think a lot of this is just speculation at this point. So let's look at some actual Block Explorer stats. I want to look at what's going on the chain. I mean, incredibly, Kaspa is number 26 of all the cryptos right now. That is unbelievable. That's pretty insane. Their market cap is $3 billion. So if you don't understand market caps and you're just looking at, oh, this token's only 15 cents, 14 cents. It's a steal. No, the valuation's super high for something that basically has nothing on it yet at this point. So one cool thing about Kaspa actually is that 75% of the tokens have been mined. So in terms of inflation, I don't think there's going to be massive, crazy amounts of inflation if you look at the tokenomics. So there is a max supply of 28 billion Kaspa, and we have already mined 21 billion into circulation. That's 75% has been mined. Guys, if you are liking this content, please hit that like button. Just smash it. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Really helps me out. I got my merch going here, swag. You can check it out in the description. Also, hit that subscribe button because I'm going to be giving away 5 Solana tokens to one of my subscribers when I hit 1,000 subs. So hit that subscribe button. Help a brother out. What was kind of cool to see about Kaspa is that there was no ICO. It's supposed to be one of the more decentralized projects. I'm going to get into actually showing you the addresses, which is actually pretty cool to see that they did this. But basically, people just started mining, and the mining emissions happened. and they didn't give a bunch of tokens to somebody. They didn't have a bunch of like pre-seed ICOs, whatever, throwing out tokens, keeping it centralized. They wanted to go very, very, very decentralized and moving into a place where the SEC is going after all of these proof of stake cryptos. I think that these proof of work blockchains do make sense to hold value. There is a narrative there that is that they're less likely going to be labeled as securities. So I think that could be part of the reason why there's so much FOMO and so much hype on the Kaspa. So I want to look at the transaction count and the active addresses. Now, unfortunately, the graph, the numbers of these are not incredible. Recently, the most current amount is just over 80,000 transactions in a day. That is pretty low. Currently, we have daily active addresses just over 16,000, and the graph is been going down. We were floating around the $13,000 range. We jumped up to about 100,000, and we've come back down. It's not a lot of addresses compared to all the other layer ones we got out there. You know, Ethereum, Solana, Avalanche. Yeah, I'm not loving the transaction count. I'm not loving the active address. And one really big thing about Kaspa is that it doesn't even have smart contracts yet. So there's nothing actually being built on it. There's no actual development at this point in terms of projects and growth, which is what brings users, which is brings TVL, which is what brings everything onto a blockchain. Guys, on their development page, these smart contracts are not even in development. They're still in planning. They need to do planning, development, testing, then completed to even be able to have people build anything on this blockchain. This is Kaspa, the ghost chain at this point. It almost is like a meme. And this thing's got to compete with Ethereum. It's got to compete with Ethereum layer 2s. It's got to compete with Solana. It's got to compete with Avalanche. It's got to compete with all these other layer 1s. If you're a developer and you're thinking of building the next Facebook on something, are you going to build it on Kaspa, or are you going to build it on Arbitrum? Are you going to build it on Solana? What are these actual applications, softwares, businesses that are going to be built on blockchains, are going to bring real utility to these things? And this is where we're talking long growth, things I'm looking at in the next, when we're investing in something, thinking, okay, 10 years, 20 years down the road. Even though if you are in the blockchain space and you know what this is like, we're going into bull market season, and that's going to be taking profits, taking all the gains that we've got from investing through the winters, which is what we want to do in crypto. You want to buy in the winter, and then you want to sell in the bull market. And it's basically been the same cycle for the last 12 years. And we've all learned the hard way, probably. I've learned the hard way myself. I've done really good buying, haven't done as well selling, but I've changed my strategy, and that's what I'm doing. So, you know, with Kaspa, I don't think with any of these coins I'm just going to hodl. But when I do buy something, I am thinking, is this thing going to make the distance? Is this really a long play? Is this going to be around in the next cycle and in the next cycle after that? And right now, Kaspa is looking very, very, very speculative. But who knows? If it delivers, it could be world changing. The other red flag about Kaspa is that because there are no smart contracts yet on the blockchain, there is no TVL, there's no total value lock, there's no DeFi ecosystem. So when you're looking at these other layer 1s that have billions of dollars locked on, that have billions of dollars of ecosystem, Kaspa has to somehow take that market share when it gets to the point of actually releasing smart contracts. So if you look on their development page, they have 4 different segments: planning, development, testing, and completed, right? Those are the 4 different stages. Each one of those stages, who knows how long each one will take, but things that are not even in testing, I don't think are close to release. Now, the crazy thing about Kaspa is that it doesn't even have a white paper. Every blockchain has a white paper. That is like the beginning of a blockchain. That is the beginning of branding. I don't know how they've done what they've done to brand this blockchain as the next savior to crypto. Is totally unbelievable. Now, I must just sound like the ultimate fudder, the ultimate fuddy-duddy. And I don't like fudding stuff this hard, But I do gotta say, guys, like we gotta look at these things, and like I invested in Cadena. I aped in way too high when all this hype was going on. 450,000 transactions per second. It's the next Bitcoin. It's proof. It's the only proof of work blockchain. And they actually had smart contracts, and they had things being developed, and they had some TVL. And then after the bull market happened and it crashed, there was no support on that coin. It came all the way back down to like 40 cents. It's come back up. It's surviving. We'll see what happens in the future. But once the hype dies on these things, the fundamentals is what really makes them survive and makes them come back in the next market. This is such a new blockchain. It's so very, 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 very young that when you look at other layer ones that have survived the last bear market, the last two bear markets, that have had really strong layers of support, that have actual development growth, that have people building on them, that are actually building real technology, have big investors, all these things, those like decrease your risk. In a space like crypto that's already insanely risky, I think we are diving into the deep end. We are taking immense risk investing in this crypto at this point in time. Could it go higher? For sure. Could it even 10x for here? Yeah, that's definitely possible. Who knows? It's crypto. It's freaking crazy. But I would say if you're in Kaspa or if you're buying right now and you somehow get some good returns, I would take profits. I would definitely, I don't think this is just a hodl into next bear winter, because who knows how low this thing could go when everything comes toppling back down after we end this FOMO season. So a little over a year ago, you get 440 KAS for every single block validated. And now we go and we look and we're at 147. Last month it was 155. This month it's 146. About every single month it's showing that every block decreases the amount of KAS. Now on their website it says that every single year they have a halving event. So I don't fully understand how there's a halving event every year, but then every single month the amount of KAS that gets mined, every single block goes down. That's a little bit confusing. If you understand this better than I do, let me know in the comments. I'm always looking to learn. I mean, even back when Solana was hyping 50,000 transactions per second, and the reality is that most of these chains are not even doing that many transactions per second. So you can't actually know and you can't actually test. And when Solana got above, I think like 4,000, 5,000 transactions per second, it was actually shutting down. It was crashing, right? So these things can kind of say the potential of what they can do, but until there's enough ecosystem that can actually put that much demand on the chain, there isn't really a way of knowing of whether or not what they're saying is actually true or whether it can actually do what it says it can do. And what's crazy about these transactions is because there are no applications, there's no DeFi, there's no gaming, the only thing that's creating transactions is basically people just trading this coin. Okay, so here we have actually the top addresses and the distribution allocation of the tokens right now. I guess 26% of the circulating supply are whales that have in between 10 million and 100 million Kaspa. So that is, that's somewhat centralized. Only 7% of the circulation is held between 10,000 and 100,000 Kaspa. So that's not super decentralized. It's really, if we look at it, over 50% of the holders of Kaspa have over 1 million Kaspa. So people who hold over 1 million hold over half of the total supply Kaspa. Is that decentralized? Somewhat. Are they all just going to dump? Maybe. I think a lot of them are going to dump if this thing continues to go higher. But we are basically at all-time highs, and I do not like buying cryptos at all-time highs. That's just not the time when you buy them. When you want to buy cryptos when they're 90% off the top. And then only 1.5% of the total supply is held by people that hold in between 1,000 and 100,000 Kaspa, which I'd say would be the general kind of investor, general person buying. What am I missing here? Let me know what I'm missing. Tell me in the comments why I am wrong. Tell me why this coin is the savior. So if you look at the coding language that Kaspa was built in, the good thing is that it was built in Golang and they're working on making it compatible with Rust. Golang is a very popular coding language. It actually is what backend Google uses, and a lot of different coders know Golang and they know Rust. So that is something that will help them when they start bringing on developers, when they release smart contracts. So that is good to see. It's not all fuddy-duddy bearish news. I want to bring you some positive information, some things. I'm trying to be objective in this, all right? I'm not trying to just shill, pump crypto. If we look at the Twitter followers and Telegram users of Kaspa, they are growing, they are vertically moving in the direction that we want to see. So that is nice to see, and that is really important in the crypto space. So that is bullish for me. And I think overall this project, it has a good mission, it has some interesting tech, but the thing is you can't test how many transactions per second, how secure these things are, how scalable they really are until you have 1 million users, till you're doing 1 million transactions per day.